Okay, so the acting gave me a hard time with this. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for The Oval. This is season 1, episode 12. This is the mid-season finale. After this episode, this will not be back until May. So in May is where we'll pick up. But listen, let me tell you something. Very interesting. Very interesting, but there were points in this where the acting was so bad that it made it hard for me to take the scene in. Barry, you know what? It's just, and I hate to do this to him, but you're very cute. The little guy that plays Barry, very attractive little fella. He has the look. The look for the role is perfect, but the acting is horrible. The acting is horrible, and it made it very hard to read his scenes, and his scenes were very important to the storyline for this. And when it got to this episode, this was very telling. You are messing up the storytelling. So, listen, season 1, we're gonna do it. This is halfway through it. I'm just gonna hope it gets better, but it definitely was confusing when it comes to the storytelling. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so I'm lying. That ain't all I'm gonna say, but just to say, Barry he's a strange soul. Okay, just strange. When the dad was telling him, okay, so we start right back off where the girl that killed herself in the dining room, and he needs to get his mother's inhaler out of her purse, and the purse is over there, and he don't want to touch the purse, and it was a lot. It was a lot of weirdness. Anyway, let's just move on from there. Because I'm going to start reading his acting again. Let's move. Kyle and Bobby. Okay. Kyle's predatory presence is bothersome. Very, very bothersome. The things that come out of his mouth, the way that character is written, he is a creepy dude. Bobby has gone in looking at stuff and has figured out why Kyle is after Lily. Kyle is basically, they had a little exchange. Kyle is basically jealous of Lily because he's in love with Donald, and he plans to torture her. It's more of it's not about killing her or getting rid. His plan is literally to torture her. He's sick. He's sick, and I think Charles putting a head out on her would have been easy. You see how he ran in there and killed Pinky and all of them. That would be easy to do, but his thing is to torture her. So Bobby got it, but that conversation between him and Bobby about how he told Bobby about his drawers being tight and that they're too tight for him to slide them off of midnight. So I was like, so you a major night crawler, huh? I couldn't get with that. I was like, that's a whole mess. That's a mess right there. That whole conversation. And Bobby was just really cool with it, I guess. Well, again, Bobby not totally innocent either, because from what I gather, they've actually done some things and they've had some inappropriate conversations. And Bobby just has figured, well, it is what it is. I've done some things, tried it out, not for me, and I'm trying to move on, but you did it with the wrong person. And anytime you're around him, he feels led to be able to talk to you inappropriately and take advantage of you whenever it's, whenever he can do it. And he basically says, Bobby, when Bobby get a little bit of that brown liquor up in him, honey, then The ding dong is who's ever there when the blood gets flowing. Is basically what I'm gathering, but very predatory, and I don't like it. Let's move on. Anyway, Barry and Sharon. So everything's going down. I don't know why I want to call that boy Dexter. His name's Kareem. Kareem's calling about her opening the store. She's kind of not telling him exactly what's going on, but said that there's something really deep going on. He don't care because he's so jealous. He's so jealous of Barry till he's just like trying to push her to go and do what he wants her to do. Hangs up the phone and stuff on her, which is the thing about working for other people, because people are very much that way. You know, when it's about their business, they really don't care about your business. It's all about their business. It's the earlier part of my life. I learned that about work for other people. Not my favorite, but anyway. Um, so that was that whole thing going on. But she was like making a point about her having to go to work. Damn, going to work and there's a body on the floor in the dining room. Like, seriously? Anyway, so Barry told her again, you know what, you go out of here, just don't even come back. Just don't even come back. How many times somebody gotta tell you that before you literally just don't come back? You know what I mean? But then we found out Barry was supposed to be calling the police. He never called the police. Never called the police. And then when the mother came, she's like, you never called. And the father's asking him questions. And then they both ended up questioning him. Why, you know, because he's getting into this big argument with Sharon. They told her, girl, go ahead on and go where you're going. Go on to work. We take care of things here. Because they was just bickering. And the father said, there's a dead body on the floor in there. Y'all need to show some respect. And the mother said, he ain't even called the police. And that's when they started asking him, did you do something to hurt Ruth? And he's like, getting an attitude and different things like this. But this is where I'm telling y'all it became a problem for me because his acting was so bad. I couldn't read an emotion from him. I couldn't read through the bad acting to see, was the emotion that he didn't care, was the emotion that he was guilty, or was the emotion that he was confused. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to throw this out there. I believe that the emotion that Tyler was trying to convey is that Barry was confused. Because I'm going to say this right now. We're like 7, almost 8 minutes into this. I believe Barry is schizophrenic. I think Barry's schizophrenic. I do. I think he's schizophrenic. I think he has a little up there, and I don't know that he knows when it goes off. That's what I believe is going on, and his acting is just bad, and we can't literally hone right in on it. And Tyler, I fault you because you needed to reshoot this until you got the proper emotion that you wanted. Because this right here, this don't tell me, this doesn't give me schizophrenia. It doesn't give me complete anger. It doesn't give me, because if he's schizophrenic, it would be very much a confusion, like, you know, a confusion. Y'all see that? Confusion. Anger and guilt would be more like, you know what I mean? And then I don't know. The acting was just bad. It really it's facial. His stuff is off. All I got was amateur. I got amateur. And it didn't. This is not a scene for an amateur. We needed somebody to bring it on through. And I couldn't, because his facial expressions just wear me out. I don't know what those facial expressions are. It's very labored. It's very labored, and it just comes across as some type of weird, like you're making weird faces. Anyway, keep working at it, because you're cute. You're a cute little fella. So you got the look of the movie star look. So you just got to keep working. But you messed it up our show right now. But I fault Tyler. I don't fault you, baby. I fault Tyler. Anyway, moving on. Something about you, Tyler likes, and he lets you in. So that's that. Bobby and Lily. Bobby slides into Lily's car, and he's trying to tell her, vaguely that she's in danger, this, that, thing, and the other. But he ain't telling her really what she needed to know, which was getting on my nerves as well. She's not listening. She's not listening, and she basically has gotten very irritated because Donald done lied to her, and she knows it. She's real irritated, and she's in her bag. And she told him, listen, do not underestimate me. Do not let that damsel who shot you confuse you with thinking that I am soft, sweetie, because I shot you right between vital organs. Please don't think that was an accident. I am not a damsel, and I am not to be played with and not to be underestimated. I said, yes, come through, Miss Lily. Now I'm here for, this is what I'm here for. Now that Lily right there, that Lily and Victoria could run the world. Because them two together, that would work. That right there would work. Anyway, and then throw some doggone Priscilla in the mix, please. Anyway, moving on to, he ain't told her nothing still. She's just, she's being combative at this point. So then we got Kyle. Donald's in there with the president. The president tells him, go get Kyle, bring Kyle back here. He tells Kyle, I want old girl. Kyle told him, I know how to do it, and I'll bring her in here at any time. I know how to do this. I've been doing this and running this house a long time. And he's like, he will test him. So you can get her here. He said, where you want her at? He said, in the presidential bed. He said, okay, I can make that happen. He said, I'll give you an hour. You're the president of the United States. You can have anything you want. So I want her in my bedroom. He said, consider it done. I said, oh, okay. So that was that. So the president calls old girl up, lets her down. He's like, they're going back and forth. Asked her, did she put in the stock choices like he told her? Here, it then paid her off $400,000. So now, she's like, I'm rich, but I want to be even richer. He's like, I'm going to do that for you. She's like, okay. So, she's floating right now. She's feeling good. And he also let her know I fired Max. Because she said, wait a minute. He said, I'm going to send Zach over there. Not Zach, Lord. He said, I'm going to send Kyle over there for you. She's like, why? Where's Max? He said, I fired Max. She's like, I like Max. He said, I know. That's why I fired Max. He knows she's a slut. Because look at her. She done tried Max. She done tried Yuma. She's a hoe. I mean, what do you expect? Well, that's her business. Anyway, moving on. So Kareem and Sharon, now these two, we found out that Kareem's girlfriend done left, and she done permanently said to hell with him because she done found a picture of Sharon that he been harboring. And he was saying, when she was telling him about the woman that killed herself, he gonna say, well, what do you expect? What do you expect? I was like, okay, all right. So I'm listening to that and saying, well, what else is there about Barry that we don't really know? You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, I'm trying to follow you, Tyler, here. Anyway, so while all this is going on, baby, Miss Victoria done got a visit. Her mother. And we've been running around her thinking that Victoria was a whole hot mess. No, baby. Grandma? The first grandmother? Ah! Baby, y'all ain't seen a bitch until Nana showed up. Nana was a mess. She didn't give a shit about nobody. She got all the info, because we knew when we met the father on the phone that he got it all down. He Papa Pope. And she is definitely, the mother is definitely as rough and ruthless as our girl Olivia Pope's mother ever was. She is just as ruthless as Mama Pope, baby. She's the legwork. She came in there and told her, "What did we do when you came?" And you see right when she seen her. Well, Victoria said, because she come in with no announcement. She says, "Mama," she said, she says, "Do you like my dress?" She said, "No, I don't like it, or your hair." "Oh, I'll go change." I was like, "Well, what Victoria is this?" Honey, because it's definitely not the same situation as Victoria versus Gail. Baby, she said, "I'll go change." She said, "We ain't got time for that, girl. Sit down. Sit down. Where's my grandchildren?" So we're going out. She said, "Well, when we try to leave here, it's like, oh," she said, "I said, we're going out for lunch. It's going to be a bit of a family reunion." I said, "Oh, I think I like her." Right for the door. Baby, anybody could come through and get Victoria together. Much as I like Victoria and how she carries on, I still will live for somebody to get her together. And her mother is the one, baby. You hear me? She said, "What did we say when you came home from college pregnant by that hillbilly?" I said, "Ah, not the hillbilly." Oh, listen, that woman's mouth was vicious. She said, "You got pregnant by that hillbilly, and we put you into the mayor's spot. Then we put you into the governor's spot, and now here. And your ignorant ass is up in here breaking things and screaming and yelling. Priceless things. Really?" I said, "Oh." Listen, my soul was crying out. Yes, yes. Baby! Oh, she told her, she said, "Your father will handle him. You will get those children in line. That son of yours has been running around here streaking and carrying on. That daughter sneaking out to be with that boy. Yes, and I know what happened with all of that." I said, "Oh, she ain't missed shit. Nothing." Told her, "Annie, listen, there are 7 companies and 5 families that run the United States. And your father is at the top. We could have put anybody in here." Said, "Now I'm telling you, if I have to come back through here again, one of you motherfuckers is going to die." I said, and I don't think that was rhetorical. She meant that. And we found out later just how much she meant that. I said, "Oh, listen, the grandmother had one thing in 12 episodes. I promise you, every viewer of the Oval will remember Grandma's 10 minutes in the first 12 episodes. She came through here and shut this shit down. Down. Do you understand me? I said, baby. Now, the casting on that, Tyler, kudos. She was right. You need to put her with the actor that plays Barry. Please put them together and let her work with him. Because I got and felt everything she said. But you could put him with Victoria. Victoria overacts, but that's her part. She probably would be able to scale, because he needs to be scaled down and honed in. Yeah, anyway, let's go. Okay, so while all this stuff is going on, Barry's dad finally ends up telling him about the man that he actually shot and all of this. So he's like frazzled. I guess he's supposed to be frazzled. I think he was planning on running. And he was getting this, and we know the police is on the way because they done called about the body in the house and all of that. He's going, and I think he's trying to get some stuff together so he can run. And there's this little box. He finds a box, and the box is full of money and the butcher knife. It was up underneath the dressers and the dresser bottom. And he's just looking at it. And he's like, what the hell? This is right when I said, okay, so one of two things. Either Sharon is off her rocker and we don't know about it. Remember, Sharon's been accused of selling drugs. and different things and carrying on. Because I didn't understand the money. What's the money situation? I don't know. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. Whenever he was talking about, did you hurt Ruth? Did you hurt Ruth? And the father said, all I know is that you were upset. You were upset. And they kept made a point about him being upset. And I'm saying, is there something in his past? Because remember, we got to think, we're talking about Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry regurgitates storylines. He does. I love him dearly, but he's guilty. He regurgitates storylines. You all know the storyline of Jeffrey. Jeffrey looks normal on Have and Have Nots. Jeffrey looks normal and he's very cute, just like Barry. He's sheltered. He's a little rich kid, which Barry's not rich, but he definitely lived in middle class. Has never had to really worry about anything, but Jeffrey is very much has a bit of schizophrenia about him, and when he goes off, and his parents are aware because there's been issues with Jeffrey in his younger years where he has hurt people when he's been pushed too far. But on a normal, Jeffrey is very soft and easy to manipulate, just like Barry. So you got to watch. And with Tyler Perry, like I said, Tyler is guilty of regurgitating stories and storylines. So that made me think of that too. But anyway, so I'm ruling sharing out. The money part is what kind of threw me. And I said, well, I don't know, because that money, the money thing. Because if there's any truth to what was said, what Picky said about, and Picky's just a thug, so why would he lie on her? If there's any truth to that thing about her selling the drugs and that drug stuff down at that damn pharmacy, that would explain the money. But the knife, I don't know. And then later on, Sharon was having a conversation with Kareem as well, and she said something about how Ruth was getting on her nerves too. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to I'm sticking with. I believe it's Tyler regurgitating again. I think that Barry is a nutso. I think Barry's a nutso. I'm sticking with that. Anyway, okay. So anyway, he puts this is where it gets stupid. You know that the police is on the way. He takes and puts the knife in his jacket. I'm saying why? Puts his knife in his jacket, and I guess he's gonna go try to get rid of the knife or whatever. Because Dad already got rid of the gun. Took the gun and gave the gun to Picky. They don't even know Picky dead. So the gun died with Picky. Ain't no issue. The gun gone on with Picky. And they don't even know that whole thing is all figured out. That will just die right along with Picky. Because they may never find Picky's body, so they don't worry about it. Anyway, but again, whatever. Remember, Secret Service killed him. They probably never find Picky's body. So you ain't gotta worry about that shit no more. Anyway, let's go on over here to Sam and Kyle. Kyle goes and Kyle tells Sam, I need to clear this hallway, blah, 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 blah. Sam noted the link up and what he's trying to do. He's going to say, wait a minute. He said, you're making this difficult. This ain't got to be difficult like this. He's going to say, you done weaseled your way in and got that job up underneath the president now, and you're making this difficult. He's going to say, listen, he needs to be managed. And Kyle gonna say, well, he wouldn't like to hear that you said that. He gonna say, are you threatening me, you little bastard? I said, come on, Sam. And he's like, no, sir, no, sir. This, that, thing, and the other. He was like, I got my eye on you. I said, you better. Anyway, so like I said, Sharon is down there with Kareem. They had a little argument, and the next thing I know, he done told her basically that every time she's around, his little blood gets flowing, honey, and showed her where his little stuff then got hard, honey, and then he pressed it up against her. The next thing I know, honey, they was starting to get down. I was like, okay, I guess she been told one time too many, don't come back, and I think she's ready to not come back. I mean, well, they got dead bodies in the floor and all that. They seem to be a bit much. The mama can't breathe and she got a heart condition. Yeah, it's probably about time to go. About time to go. And he got a place and a space open. So, girl, do what you got to do. I ain't mad with her. Anyway, anyway, they go. In the meantime, when all that's going on, baby, they done went on and got old girl in there. Cowden did it. Told him you got 1 hour. Put her on there, baby. She's right in there waiting in the bedroom, honey. The family is out with grandma. Okay. Which is funny to me because Tyler, did you forget that Gail's all scraped, and scarred up, and they going into the public with her? That didn't make sense. Um, Whatever. Because even her face was messed. Well, they could put makeup on her. I don't know. Whatever. Anyhow, so this is the question I have. So the president's whore only has one pair of shoes? Really, Tyler? She owns a boutique, but every time we've seen this whore, she's had on the same pair of shoes. What do they do? Is they're comfortable? Because they didn't even go with what she had on. What she had on, she needed thigh-high boots for. Dominatrix don't wear those cute little sandals. She would have had on boots. Details. Details, Tyler. Details. The president's whore needs a pair of boots, love. Anyway, and she definitely is a dominatrix, and she's definitely into giving out pain. She needs boots. Those she can't stomp on nobody with them damn sandals. She need boots. I'm telling too much. Anyway, shut on up, James. Let's move on. Okay. So Barry goes outside the house, and the police said, we need to question you. And all they wanted to do was question him about what happened down at the pharmacy. He started lying, talking about he ain't been there. And the cop said, why are you making this difficult? The surveillance says that you were there. Just all we want to ask you a question. He keep on going. And he started being a smart ass. Is why he ends up getting arrested. In the midst of them getting arrested, they done found the knife. I said, and that was just stupid. I can't even give you nothing for that, Tyler. That was lazy and that was stupid. The fact that he even took the knife out of the house was stupid. Stupid. Because what are the chances that they would have even searched that room? They wouldn't have searched his room. The dead body's in the middle of the floor down. I mean, it's so evident of what she did. The cops ain't searching his room. That was just stupid. That whole thing was stupid. Anyway, I said, that's the cliffhanger for their family, okay? Let's go to the good shit. So Hunter is in there sleeping with Girl. He jumps up and says, how much time we got left? She's like, I don't know. He said he would come back and let us know. He goes in there to pee, into the bathroom and pee. He comes back out, baby, and he goes in there and goes to pull her up, baby, and her head comes right off, honey. Off. Do you understand me? Off. Like it was said, your father will take care of him. You will get these children in line. I said, Grandma came through here and wreaked havoc. They cut her damn head off. Do you understand me? Cliffhanger. See y'all in May.